In order to be a good sports official, one must have, number one, a great knowledge of the rules. Number two, know how to deal with people both on and off the field in the court. And number three, finally knowing how to be good administrators, respecting all players and coaches. Larry Rodgers did all of these better than most officials. He was one of the most respected and knowledgeable baseball umpires and football referees to ever grace an athletic field in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County. He umpired baseball for 39 years, serving as president, vice president, and more for the Chautauqua County Baseball Umpires Association and the Chautauqua County Softball Umpires Association, and was also the rules interpreter for baseball and softball for over 25 years. He refereed football for 36 years, serving in the same capacity for the Southwestern chapter of the New York State Certified Football Officials. Following his retirement from Carborundum, he moved to South Carolina, and sadly, Larry passed away in 2011. In 1980, there was a young lad that had returned from college, was playing in a couple softball leagues here in Jamestown. That was when the 1980s softball was huge. There were games being played every night of the week. Not enough fields in the city to even have enough teams to play. It was during that time that this young lad saw an article in the paper about a umpire's course being offered at Jamestown High School. So this guy took the course, and it was led by Larry Rodgers. This spring will be my 42nd year of umpiring baseball, and it was because of Larry Rodgers who got me started. He was one of the most gentlemanly men I have ever met. He cared about everybody, and refereeing and umpiring were number one in his life outside of his family. I remember many times calling Larry, asking him for a rules interpretation or a situation. In Janet, I remember many trips to Fort Berkeley Place, West Ellicott. Chautauqua County is blessed to have someone like Larry Rodgers and also someone like Roger McTavish to teach young men and women the rules of sports. We don't know until someone is gone what they really mean to us and how much their teaching will stay with us forever. Accepting Larry's induction into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame is his lovely wife, Janet. Janet, please come forward.
The Rodgers family would like to thank the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame for bestowing this honor on Larry. We would also like to thank Bob Illig and his wife for doing the groundwork which made this possible. Larry graduated from Youngsville High School, where he ran track. And many of you probably don't know, as a child, he was burned. And he always got in line to play football. And the doctor who saved his leg said, "Get out of line, Rodgers, you're not playing football." After graduation, he played Legion and Great Belt Ball. He tried out for Major League Baseball, but was told he did not throw hard enough. When Larry went to work at Carborundum, he played Industrial League softball. While doing this, he met Ross Casilla and Chief Catania, who encouraged him to take the umpiring class. He umpired for 39 years, working Little League, Babe Ruth, high school, college, and those softball tournaments that you mention every weekend. He really enjoyed working the state baseball tournaments in 1981 and 1983, and the Babe Ruth World Series in 1984, in Jamestown in 1985 in Maryland. He served, as you said, with president, vice president, secretary, and interpreter for the Chautauqua County Baseball Association. He taught umpiring classes for 25 years. So all of you that are here that umpired baseball or softball went through his class. Roger Mason and Gus Erickson had a meeting with Larry. Gus was my friend, so He kind of took Larry away from me for a long time. After this meeting, they convinced him to take the football rules class. This started... I have a Kleenex? That's good. Thank you. This started 36 years that he officiated football in the area. He worked 610 varsity football games. He served as president, vice president, rules interpreter of the Southwestern chapter of New York State Association of Certified Officials. He refereed state football finals, regional. 1984, he worked the finals. Every weekend, Larry received telephone calls. Sometimes they were, "Where is he? Isn't he home yet?" The newspaper would call. They wanted clarification of the rules. Sometimes they wanted his opinion on the calls that were made. Larry loved the rules and officiating all of these sports. He loved his fellow officials, the coaches, the players on the field. He loved the rules and would not waste an opportunity to work through a scenario with anybody, no matter where we were. He also liked the Friday night football games where they were trips with the guys and then finished up at Miley's. And it wasn't just wings. Somebody mentioned this tonight, but it was already in my speech, that they moved the salt and pepper shakers around on the table to reenact the plays. And this was his in-season classroom and where he held court. Our son told me that he never met a person who didn't have a story about his father or some one-liner. Most of it involves something funny. And tonight, I was reminded by Mr. Sirianni when he asked me if I had candy in my pocket. Because Larry always had candy or cough drops in his pocket, and because he did, he saved the life of one of the football officials, because when he got to the hospital, the doctor said he wouldn't have survived if it hadn't been for those cough drops. He also was an expert on rules. He got calls from all over New York State. But he had the ability to connect with people. What made him special, Larry to connect with people, which made him special. Larry would have thanked his wife and children, but he probably never would have told you the times you saw the two of us out for dinner and he had his nose in a football rule book. As a family, we were thankful for basketball season, and you probably understand why. Crystal and Mark played basketball at Southwestern, and this was the one sport we were able to attend together. You've heard of all these years, all these games. Can you imagine the laundry they produced? Can you imagine those football games when he was so muddy he walked in the shower with his clothes on and took a shower, and then he put them in a big garbage bag and brought the clothes home to me? And we had to buy a new washing machine on top of that. Again, thank you for this honor, and congratulations to all the inductees and their families. Sorry, I didn't do that.